YouTubers, I want to welcome you to another edition of Bargain Bin Gear. And this past week, I finished up recording my 374th album. And what I was using for the majority of the album is this Meris Enzo pedal, synthesizer pedal. And really exploiting its Midi capabilities. And I'll tell you what, it wasn't easy, I have to say. So I kind of want to show you what I've done here and what's going on, and that'll give you a better idea if you intend to get this pedal to be able to use it. Now, obviously it's a guitar synthesizer pedal, but it can do much more than that. So for right now, I'd like to go through some of the presets so you can hear it. That's the normal guitar signal. Okay, now here's an arpeggio preset I came up with. Alright, here's another one. this is a preset I use quite often, actually. This is one that can be looped and then add a different preset. We can do that now. And then we could add another preset. Okay, so obviously the Meris Enzo can come up with some really unbelievable sounds, very unusual sounds. Now, I've been using the editor, which makes this pedal easier to use because you can access everything from one page. Okay, and so to edit a sound, and we'll do that now. I'll just go through. That's the arpeggiator setting, so we're going to change it. Try that sound. been manually changing the knobs via the editor. Now the editor has a randomize function, and we're going to go ahead and click on that. Randomize. And basically it changes all of the functions of the pedal, right? To see if you like the sound or not. You can try it. Okay, I changed it again. Let's see what we get. Okay, it's just a quick way of changing all of the settings of the pedal to give you a different sound, and then you can tweak it to where you like it. That's a real weird one. So let's say I like that sound for whatever reason. Okay. Then what I can do is add it to the library of sounds, and I'll click it here and then put in this, name it, and save it. Now that saves it to the computer. Then from there you can save it as one of the Meris Enzo 16 presets. Right? So let's randomize again. See what we come up with. That is truly bizarre. Randomize it again. And what I'm changing here is when you randomize it, it also randomizes the pitch, which is kind of useless. So you want to make sure the pitch is that one that you can use. Wow. That's an arpeggiated sound. So you could edit that one if you wanted to. Let's randomize it again. randomize it again. Oh, that's a weird one. Okay. Let's try this okay. So that's a weird one too. Oops. So the randomized function is a lot of fun as far as getting different kind of sounds. And you wouldn't think that a lot of these sounds are very useful, but they are. I can show you an example. Here's a track just from the 374th album I just did with the Enzo. And it has some Meris Enzo only tracks. In other words, I only use the Meris Enzo. And one of the opening tracks is this one, which is just the Meris Enzo sounds. Yeah. So that's a kind of a bizarre sound, but it's the intro to the album, and it fits nicely with just a regular track, which will be this one. So don't dismiss the sounds coming out of this pedal. They can be very useful, actually. I know they sound strange sometimes. You know, the randomize function is a lot of fun, though. It's a quick way of trying out different sounds by twisting the knobs, and then you can tweak to get the sounds that you like out of it, you know, and changing the volume and all those kinds of things. And please excuse me, I'm slowly getting over this cold. In any case, so what I wanted to show you here is exactly what's involved, right? Well, the very first thing, of course, is the Meris Enzo pedal. We can take a look at it here. Okay, so there's the Meris Enzo pedal. Looks pretty unassuming. You can turn it on and off right here, right? But besides these layers of knobs, if you hold down the Alt button here and then turn the knob, you've got another 6 layers, and that makes it kind of confusing. And here on the back, you've got an input, right, for your guitar signal, and then a stereo output, right, or mono output if you like. And then right here, this last one, right there, this big thick cables, that's a TRS cable, which is just like a guitar cable, except it's stereo. And as a result, works well. Now this goes into this little pedal right here, sold by Meris as well. And this is called the Midi IO right here. It can handle up to 4 pedals. But basically, and what this is the MIDI interface for the Meris Enzo pedal. It's about $100 more than the pedal. I mean, in addition to the pedal, you'd spend $100 more for the Midi IO. And the MIDI I/O has MIDI in and out. Right here. And see those green knobs? Those are actually the MIDI cables. MIDI in and out. And this goes to a PC. And this is actually a Yamaha. Right here. See this? And this is basically MIDI to USB. In and out USB. And that goes into the PC. And here is the editor. There you've got your presets. Here are all the knobs. And when I turn a knob here, right? There we go. You'll see that it turns, right? So I'm turning the knob on the pedal. And via MIDI it's controlling it here. And you've got all your settings for the pedal here. And there's that randomize function where you click on it right there. And that'll change all of the settings for you so that you can try out different sounds or come up with strange sounds. You've got to set up the Meris Enzo to work with MIDI, right? And it's kind of confusing. It can be confusing. I highly recommend you download the Meris Enzo manual, which is only a couple pages long, but it has the information you need. And here, for example, section 2 of the manual is Global Settings Configuration Mode. Okay, and that's where basically you hold down this Alt button on the pedal and then power it off and power it on. It'll flash 3 times, and then you're in Global Settings mode. And from there, there's all kinds of settings you can make, but the one we're interested in is first the expression mode. Okay, and that basically tells the TRS jack what to do. And you have expression, tap tempo, 4-button switch, or the last one is MIDI. So we want to set that to MIDI. Okay. Now, on the next page, of course, is the MIDI channel, which is done by controlling the MIDI channel, moving the filter knob, and there you can choose channel 1 through 16. Okay, and whatever MIDI channel you set it to, you want to set the editor to the same channel. In other words, if I have the MIDI channel set to 9 on the Enzo, right, then in the editor I want it set to 9 as well. Okay, and there's a couple of other settings. One is the MIDI through on, right, or you can choose just MIDI out. I've heard that it works better with just MIDI out. However, I haven't been able to confirm that. Okay, and that's done by hitting this bypass switch in the global configuration mode. Once you're done, then you turn off the pedal and then reset the power, and you should be ready to go. And make sure that you have the correct MIDI settings in the MIDI I/O box. In other words, the MIDI in and out. Okay. And a great way to test that is with to test your MIDI in, right, is move a knob and see if it moves it in the software. And if for the MIDI out, to check that, just select a preset, like the first preset, which is a factory preset, and see if it changes it on the pedal. So once you get your head wrapped around that, right, here is where it becomes an issue. And I think this may be a Meris Enzo issue. I'm going to contact them and ask them about it. And that is, that even though you made those settings, you sometimes have to reset the pedal to the factory presets for it to work, for the MIDI input to work, right? The MIDI in, if you like. In other words, when you turn the knobs and it turns it on the software. And that's very frustrating. Because in other words, I could have it working right now, come back to it tomorrow, for example, and have to reset everything for it to work. So it's a headache in a way, this pedal. The other thing is I found it very difficult to come up with conventional keyboard sounds. And what I mean by that, for example, the EHX Synth 9, right, synthesizer pedal, very much stock synthesizer sounds, right? Whereas this pedal kind of goes crazy as far as sounds go. I mean, it can do all kinds of different sounds, and some are very, very strange indeed. Whereas the EHX9 Synth 9 pedal is more what you would think of when you hear a synthesizer sound. However, I found that the Enzo can really make some amazing tracks just on its own that mix very well with a lot of my recorded tracks. So, kind of a mix of both, for me, is very interesting, and the sounds are just so unusual. And some of them are, just noise, really. But I mean, I had one where it was it almost sounded like wolves. Very bizarre sounds. Anyway, if that's what you're into or that's what you're looking for, this is definitely the pedal to get. Unusual synthesizer type sounds. If you're looking for more conventional kind of sounds, then probably the EHX Synth 9 pedal, or string 9, B9, and all that. The 9 pedals from Electro Harmonics, which are pretty straightforward. But for really unusual, strange sounds, the Meris Enzo, is unbelievable. Some of the sounds it comes up with are really odd. And they can be really high quality sound because of their stereo. So it's kind of a give and take. The pedal's difficult to use, but can yield some really nice results. Alright, I wanted to show you that, what I was working on. And coming up, we've got 2 new pedals coming in. And we'll see about those next time. Alright, very good. See you next time. Okay, bye.